All hail everyone.
All hail.
Church of God and Saints of Christ, to Chief Evangelists, to the evangelists at large, Chairman of the Board, to the Grandfather Abraham, evangelists, elders of Israel, deacons, grand and general officers of this great assembly, I greet you with the language of the church. All hail.
All hail.
Is it well with
It is well with thee.
It is well with my soul. On this morning, I want to first start off to thank everyone for being present on today.
Amen. Amen.
Yes, sir.
That you found it in your schedule to be at this place at this time.
Yeah.
As I was preparing even to make it here to the assembly, thought even before we even get into the introduction, the opening, there was a word that really encouraged me. I shared it with the church on last Sabbath. It talks about the pain of recovery. The pain of recovery, church, is important because the initial injury is attached to pain. I initially twist my ankle, break my foot, have an Achilles injury. I get hurt in a relationship. The initial pain is attached to the injury, where it all began. But the pain of my recovery is attached to deliverance.
Okay.
Because the pain of my recovery, I know that God is going to bring me out of something or something that He has we have found ourselves put in.
Amen.
When I recover from a surgery, the surgery is attached to initial injury. But after the surgery is completed, they come in and say, if you can make it to the nurse's station, you're able to go home.
All right.
If you are able to walk a few steps, if you can do some physical therapy, if you're able to move your arms, or if you're able to do something that indicates that you are being recovered, we'll allow you to go on your way.
Wow.
That pain of recovery is attached to deliverance. I don't know, that just encouraged me, y'all. And even though the pain in which we may go through in our lives is attached to deliverance, it's not always attached to the initial pain of injury, where I walk around bitter or angry or mad or frustrated. But the pain of recovery is attached to breakthrough. So today, that was for free, y'all. I just felt like doing that for me. Because it's important for us to know that we no longer become bag women and men. Where we carry around someone else's baggage of that pain, of that injury. But I begin to shed that and begin to walk in freedom. The scripture says, wherewith Christ has made us free, being no longer entangled with the yoke of bondage. And so we are liberated here at this moment and at this hour. How y'all feeling today?
Good.
How you feeling? You feeling all right? Yes, sir. This 2019 annual assembly, we want to focus in on repairing and restoring as we continue to walk into the promise. Isaiah 58 verse 12 says, and they that shall be of thee shall build the old waste places. Thou shalt raise up the foundations of many generations. Thou shalt be called the repairer of the breach, the restorer of paths to dwell in. As the cities of Israel and Judea, which have been long laid waste in by the Assyrian and the Chaldeans, were rebuilt by those of the Jewish nation who returned from the captivity of Babylon, to which there is at least an allusion. And as the church of God, the tabernacle of David, which was fallen down, had been laid in total ruins. through corruption and doctrine and worship to the times of Christ when the apostles who were of the Jews, those wise master builders, were instruments of raising it up again and repairing it to ruins. So, in the latter day, the waste places of the world will be repaired and restored. On this week, we will, church, identify the waste places. But we won't take up too much time focusing in on identifying the negativities of what we have to repair to the negation of restoring our past to dwell in. So many times we will focus in, church, on so much of what we don't have and what we can't do and haven't done to the negation of where we need to be. Those weak spots will be repaired. And those desolate places will be rebuilt. How can we do that? I'm glad you asked. We do that with one mind and one spirit. Fulfill ye my joy, that ye be like-minded, having the same love, being of one accord and of one mind. Philippians 2 verse 2. I want us to take this time to develop a strong habitation of God's people to be able to dwell in. The scripture declares in Proverbs 18 and 10 that the name of the Lord is a strong tower, and the righteous runneth into it and is safe. We want to create a safe place for those who are outside of this organization to run into and will be safe. Amen. Safety, church, is paramount to the people of God. We don't want to come to a church where we're getting beat up.
That's right.
Or we're made to feel worse than when we came into the church. We need a safe haven, a safe place. The strong tower is a safe place. Proverbs 11:14 says, where no counsel is, the people fall. But in the multitude of counselors, there is safety. We want the house of God to be a place where safety is important. Safe to talk about how we really feel. Safe to be vulnerable. Safe to love our brothers and sisters with a pure heart with no strings attached. Safe to grow and not be afraid. Safe to conquer our fears of trying to be successful. Along with restoring and repairing, we want to establish the multitude of counselors. The multitude of counselors come from our various departments and the department heads where they will take off this week. Just like St. Tanea, a sprinter on the starting block, and begin to introduce ourselves or reintroduce themselves to this organization, and this organization will have a clear vision of what it is asked of them and what the departments plan to do with everyone's commitment. You know, it's interesting because many years we do the same thing over and over again and we expect a different result. But sometimes we may not understand what is being asked of us. I was reading a book about effective communication. Effective communication isn't just always about me sitting having a conversation with you. Effective communication is about me or you understanding what I'm having a conversation about.
There you go.
So that way if I ask, or if someone asks to do a task, you're able to execute the task because you understand the task. And it doesn't leave anyone frustrated. So on this week, we need all hands on deck to build up the old waste places. We need everyone to repair the breach. We need everyone to come with an open mind and an open heart to receive what the Lord would have us to do while we build up his kingdom right here on earth. Church, let us take this opportunity to inhale vision. Come on, just do that with me. Inhale vision and focus. And then let's exhale personal egos and ideologies. Inhale peace and exhale self-indulgence.
Lord have mercy.
We want more love to saturate our churches. And let us not just come to church, but let us be the church. This 2019 annual assembly is now open for business so that we can build, restore, and repair.
Amen.
Let's go to work. Let's go to work.